Politicians will let people do anything just to get their support. But if a prophet is genuine, he cannot be a politician because he has to guide people, not use them. In this famous hadith, I'm going to show you how the Prophet ﷺ put people's interests before his own, even when he needed their support. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. The Prophet ﷺ, when he was in Mecca, he was persecuted by his people for calling them to worship God alone and to abandon idol worship. They persecuted him, they persecuted his companions, they tried to kill him. And so he escaped and he came to Medina, to the city of Medina, where he found support. And the tribes of Medina, they're called the Ansar, the helpers, those who give victory, who support and defend the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They loved him, they supported him in his mission, and Islam spread far and wide. In this period, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ who were in Mecca were commanded to make hijrah, to emigrate. This emigration meant that they gave up their homes, they gave up their wealth, they gave up their social ties, they gave up their tribes, they gave up everything, and they came to support the mission of the Prophet ﷺ in this new polity that he had established. They came to support the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ at this time, he wasn't powerful. So in terms of a purely worldly analysis, if somebody views this without God in the picture, you look at this and the Prophet ﷺ looks like he's vulnerable, he looks like he needs support. In this time, there's a companion. He emigrates. He comes from Mecca to Medina in a time when the Prophet ﷺ and his mission, they need people like this. But he came for an ulterior motive. He came because he'd fallen in love with a woman, and that woman was Muslim. And she said, I won't marry you until you emigrate. And so he emigrated. And the Prophet ﷺ, he heard about this. And he said, in general terms, he gave a lesson to the companions. He didn't criticize this person, but he gave a general lesson. He said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. He said, actions, they only have value based on their intentions. It's not the outward form of actions that matters, but it's why you do those actions that matters. And then he went on to explain this by saying that everyone shall have what they intended. Then he applied this principle to emigration, to leaving your home, leaving your wealth, leaving everything, and coming to Medina to start your life afresh, to support this new polity that the Prophet ﷺ has established. And he says that whoever does this, whoever emigrates for Allah and His Messenger, they do this sincerely for the sake of God, sincerely because they love the Messenger of God, then his emigration is a great thing. It's for Allah and His Messenger, and he's done a great thing, and it's something that is deserving of praise and reward with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if somebody emigrates in order to gain something of the world, or in order to marry a woman because he fell in love with her, فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى مَا هَاجَرَ إِلَيْهِ, then his emigration is to that which he emigrated to. Meaning that the reality of this act of emigrating and leaving everything behind and sacrificing sincerely for the sake of God and His Messenger, it's only this great act if it's done with this intention. But if it's done with some other intention to gain some personal benefit with an ulterior motive, then it doesn't have that value. Now, I want you to reflect on the time when the Prophet ﷺ said this. He said this at a time when, in worldly terms, he's vulnerable. He needs people to migrate. In times like this, a political leader will entice people with all kinds of things to motivate them to come and support him with ulterior motives. He'll give them money. If somebody fell in love with a woman, great. If this is a corrupt leader, he might even send women to seduce other people to make them come just so that he joins his army and helps him dominate and gain power. That's the nature of politics. When the Prophet ﷺ himself was in Mecca and he first began calling the mushrikun, the idolaters, the idol worshippers, to worship God alone, the establishment, the corrupt church-state alliance establishment in Mecca, they negotiated with him. They said that if you want power, we'll give you power. Just if you want to worship your God, we'll worship your God, you worship our God too. They were compromising because what did they want? They wanted power, they wanted control, and they saw this man is gaining influence, and the most intelligent thing to do is to win him over, to hush him up, to get what you want. The Prophet ﷺ, he didn't deal with his companions to get what he wanted. He dealt with them as the messenger of God who's sent to guide them to that which benefits them forever. And he did that even when it would appear to go against his own selfish interests, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he didn't have any selfish interests. We need your support. We want to produce over 100 videos in this series to show the beautiful character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This will be a positive response to all the bad things that people are saying about him. If they understood who he was, they wouldn't believe any of those accusations. If you like this video, please support this cause. You can help with as little as $1 or even with the click of a mouse. Go to discovertheprophet.com or click the link in the description below to find out all the ways that you can help people discover who the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Also to subscribe to our channel. All of this helps spread this message.